We got six games left here. This is no stretch run, right? Play smart, play hard. Wait up! No, you know. Yeah. Let's go, fellas. Let's
From center field at Lexington High School in Lexington, Mass. is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Today, it is absolutely not the Blue Sox taking on the Stoneham Sabres. It is the Battle of Lexington as the Blue Sox take on the Lexington Bulldogs in the second of three meetings here in this 2026 season. Good evening, everybody. Sam Feely here with you, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. Anything I said yesterday during the game against the Sabres about the Bulldogs owning the tiebreaker, even I knew that was wrong. It was just, I was just right in the line of fire with the sun, and that tired me out a bit. But it is the Blue Sox leading the regular season series against the Bulldogs, 1-0. And they can clinch a very important head-to-head tiebreaker against the Bulldogs with a win here tonight. Extremely necessary in this logjam of the ICL standings, where not one team has really separated themselves truly this year. The Blue Sox able to gain a point on the Chiefs last night after the Blue Sox beat the Sabres 6-1, and then the Chiefs came back to tie the Mad Dogs in the bottom of the seventh, but then 8th and 9th innings went scoreless. That gives the Chiefs 1 point, puts them at 13-6-3, first in the league. The Blue Sox, one game better in the loss column than the Americans, but remember that the Americans own the head-to-head there, so it's an effective tie at that point. The Sabres own the head-to-head against the Blue Sox, but a win here against the Bulldogs would effectively give the Blue Sox an extra one-game advantage in the standings. There is a potential in the near future for the Mad Dogs to be eliminated from the postseason, but we won't deal with that right now. Anderson Jimenez will lead things off for the Blue Sox at short after reaching base all four times yesterday in a 3-for-4 performance with a couple of runs scored, 3 singles, stolen base. First pitch coming at you, 7:36, is outside for ball one, and we are underway. Check swing, but it's in there for a strike, and that'll even the count at 1. Don't have the Bulldogs line up for you right now. We'll fill that in once we get it. Who's working the scoreboard, too? 2-1 is the count to Jimenez, followed by Frank Landero and Ryan Grundy here in the top of the first. Ground to the left side, fielded at third. Fire on to first is in time for out number 1. Field does look a lot better tonight than it has in recent weeks. The Blue Sox, relatively clean game defensively yesterday in the win over the Sabres. Just one error, and it didn't come back to bite them in the end. Jimenez grounds out. 5-3. Here is Frank Landero. Frank takes a strike. 0-1. No Jack Pasiak in the lineup tonight for the Blue Sox. Nick Anderson getting the start in center field. Check swing, he went around, says the home plate umpire, and it is strike 2. Landero hits this one into right center field, and that will get down for a base hit. Good two-strike piece of hitting. That's the Blue Sox one-out base runner. Landero picks up his 15th hit of the year to improve on his .378 average entering play. Jimenez going 3 for 4 yesterday, up to 21 hits on the year, which is second on the team. Up to .339, but of course retired 5-3 to begin the ball game. Here's Ryan Grundy, the first baseman, and he takes on the outside corner for strike 1. Grundy takes down and away for ball 1. Count is 1-1 to Ryan, who enters play with a .1227 OPS in 9 games. 1 double, 1 triple, 2 homers, and 9 ribbies. Hits this one, caught by the second baseman. Throwback is not in time. Grundy retired on the line out, and now it's Jules. Leon Alvarez back in the saddle in just his 10th game of the year, but slashing 500, 600, 773 with 6 doubles and 9 ribbies. He has only played 9 games to this point, as I said, but he's still tied for 5th in the league in doubles with Anderson Jimenez, who has played significantly more games. Fly ball down the line in right into foul territory, and that'll drop for strike 1. Jules last played a week ago tonight against the Sabres. Went 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. He has at least 1 hit in every game he's played this season. Landero takes off, pitches a strike, throw down to second is offline into center field. Landero has a stolen base. Backed up to prevent any further advance, but it is now 0-2 to Jules. Landero picks up his 8th stolen base, which breaks a tie with Pasiak for the team lead, and Landero is yet to be caught this year. Time called by the catcher Cormier to try and figure out how to attack Jules with 2 strikes and a runner in scoring position. It's Ian Bourne getting the start on the bump tonight for the Bulldogs. 1-0 with a .219 ERA in 4 appearances, 16 innings, 11 hits, now 12. 6 runs, 5 which are earned, walked 9, struck out 24, hit 3 batters, and thrown 1 wild pitch. Line down the line, but foul. Just a tad out in front there. Was Jules, will do it again at 0-2. Righty power hitter against the lefty. Let's see again what Bourne can do on 0-2. Landero takes off for third, throw one hops down the line. Another stolen base for Landero, and now he's going to score the first run of the game. Two stolen bases on the same trip, and then the throw up the line allows him to score. It's a 1-2 count to Jules. Outside, 2-2. I did open the iris a bit before the game started on the camera, but it's not really in full effect just yet. I mean, we did get them on in time, obviously, for the 7:30 start, which is the usual time for Bulldogs home games. Fouled off by Jules. Do it again at 2-2. So Landero with two stolen bases on the same trip. Gets up to 9 steals on the year in as many attempts. And now it's gone to a full count to Jules with Pat Casserly due up next. Landero scoring his 13th run, which ties him with Cass for second on the team. Payoff pitch. Fouled off. And Father Time buying some more time. Payoff pitch once again. Down and away, Jules works a walk. That'll bring up Pat Casserly. His big 2-run single in the third yesterday with 2 outs gave the Blue Sox the lead for good in the win over the Sabres. First pitch to Cass, swung on and fouled off the other way for strike one. Cass enters play, slashing .347, .459, .571 with 4 doubles, 2 triples, 1 homer, and a team-high 15 RBIs. Also team-high 10 walks. Fouls that one off again, and the count will move to 0-2 as Bourne is already over the 20-pitch mark in this first inning. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Pat Casserly's side retired, but the Blue Sox strike first thanks to the base running prowess of Frank Landero. Blue Sox 1, Bulldogs coming up. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. As we go to the bottom of the first, Chris Wannett has made the trip up from New Haven to take the bump for the Blue Sox. This is his fourth appearance of the year. He is 1-1 with a 3.82 ERA and 14 2/3 innings. He has allowed 20 hits, 15 runs, only 8 of which are earned, walked 7, and struck out 16, hit 1 batter, and thrown 1 wild pitch. Last pitch on July 8th against the Andre Chiefs, went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 2, and struck out 3. His one win of the season came against Mass Envelope on June 26th. Pitch got a win in the championship series against the Bulldogs last year, going 5 innings, allowing 4 hits, 2 earned runs with 2 walks and 3 Ks. Christian Roncal swings at the first pitch and fouls it off behind us for strike 1. Roncal, third in the ICL in batting average, entering play at .455, behind 2 Andre Chiefs, Byron Woodman and Rowan Osman. 1-1 is the count to Roncal with an 1177 OPS, 7 doubles, 1 triple, and 6 ribbies. He's ahead in the count 2-1 and a speedster 2 if he gets on base. He's got 11 steals, which isn't even the team lead. That belongs to the man on deck, the left fielder Ruben Siegel. But it is now 2-2 to Roncal. Hits this one the other way into the gap, and that'll get down all the way to the wall. Roncal's got his 8th double if he stops there, but he's on his way to third. Here comes the throw, and it's out of play. Or is it? No, Wannett backed it up. Well, plays like that have come back to bite the Blue Sox this year, so the game not tied right off the bat, but Christian Roncal does pick up his second triple of the year to begin the night offensively for the Bulldogs. Tying run 90 feet away for Ruben Siegel. Rounds this one up the middle. Landero makes the throw, and that one does go out of play, and the game is tied. And the defensive woes for the Blue Sox continue. Only one error last night against the Sabres. It did not cost them their first error of the game here in the bottom of the first does. Tough play. I'm inclined to give Siegel the base hit and the RBI there, but the error does put him at second base, and that hits him. Or did it hit his bat? No, it hit him. And already things looking dire for the Blue Sox. First and second, nobody out after the leadoff triple, and then Siegel bringing home Roncal. Now Burnt gets plunked. Brendan Doyle going out to try and settle Wannett down. Now it's time for Seamus Condon. Bulldogs first baseman takes a ball 1-0. This is just his 10th game of the year, but he's made the most of his time. 481, 548, 556 slash line with 2 doubles and 4 ribbies. Takes on the outside corner 1-1. Also has 4 steals in that time frame. Grounds this one the other way through for a base hit. Here comes Siegel. Throw is not in time, short, and the Bulldogs lead, and there's still nobody out. Sammy Steed out there to have a word with Doyle and Wannett. It's one thing. See this stuff from the Blue Sox as of late. It's another to see it so early in the ball game. Wannett staked to an early 1-0 lead, and the Bulldogs have flipped things around, and there's still nobody out in the inning for Matt Favazzo. Favazzo swings at the first pitch, fouls it off out of play for strike one. Favazzo in 7 games, 400, 409, 500, 2 doubles, 5 ribbies. Lifts this one into left center field, and that will get down for a base hit. Around third is Burnt, and Favazzo gets in the back door at second. Already 3-1. Now it's second and third, and already the alarm bell's going off in the Blue Sox bullpen. There's still nobody out. The bottom of the first for Caleb Cormier. Cormier hits this one into left center. That gets down. 1 run scores. Here comes another. It is 5-1. Jack Pasiak is actually warming up right now in the bullpen. It's 5-1 Bulldogs. There's still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Brett Stone now to the plate. Takes strike one. Downstairs. 1-1. Wannett comes set. Bouncing off of first is Cormier. That hits the outside corner. 1-2. Down and in. 2-2. Full count now. 2 Stone. And start in the DH slot tonight. The EH slot, I should say. DH is due up 2 batters from now. I guess now it's full count. My mistake. A little ahead of myself. Despite allowing the 1 run. Bourne got through the top of the first on 21 pitches. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first, and Wannett's about to be on 21. Runner goes. Broken bat, fly ball into right. That'll be caught. Fire back to first for the double play. Jake McElroy with the catch and a fine throw to first. The Blue Sox. Now the base is empty, 2 down behind Wannett, but Bulldogs still have a chance here with Jack Lee to add on, scoring 5 runs before an out was recorded. 5 hits. And a hit by pitch. Two and 0 already to start to Lee. 286, 394, 607, 1 double, 1 triple, 2 homers, and 6 ribbies. 2-1 is the count. Pasiak stopped warming just a moment ago, but now it is 3-1 to Lee. With the designated hitter Peyton Heisner due up next. Fly ball deep into center field. Anderson on his horse. It's off the base of the wall. And it's a 2-out double for Jack Lee to keep the party moving. The Bulldogs seeing the ball very well tonight, to say the least. And it's just the first inning. And now here comes Heisner. He have a 1582 OPS, 4 homers and 10 ribbies. Down away for a ball. 27 pitches now in the inning for Chris Wannett. Swing and a miss at a pitch at his neck, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Wannett about to throw his 30th pitch of this first inning, in which the first 6 batters all reached. 9-3 double play, got to 2 outs, bases empty, but Jack Lee putting the pressure right back on the 2-out double. As that misses outside for a ball, 2-2. Nick Favazzo, the center fielder, is due up next if Heisner can get on. Popped up, foul behind us. Rick DeAngelis was talking to his guys after the loss last Thursday. As this is lined into left center field for a base hit. Here comes another run. Throw into second will freeze Heisner with a single. But Lee scores. And it is now 6-1. And that is going to do it for Chris Wannett. 32 pitches, 2 outs. 7 hits, 6 runs so far, and still responsible for Heisner on first. As we have a pitching change coming to you from LHS. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. It is not the second inning. It is still the bottom of the first. As Wannett sees his day come to a abrupt end. Jack Pasiak takes over on the mound. For Pasiak, this is his second pitching appearance of the year. Had 1 hit and 1 walk and struck out 1 in a loss against Melrose last Thursday. It was after that loss that Rick DeAngelis was talking to his guys and reminding everyone, don't blame anyone, even yourself. He's talking about, his responsibility too. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to, talk to him, basically. As the first pitch to Nick Favazzo's popped up in foul territory. Feeling for the line is Atiles for the out that retires the side on 1 pitch, but the damage has been more than done. 6-1 Bulldogs after 1. The LSP store is open. Get yourself one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Scan the QR code now to buy. Top of the second, Ian Bourne and the Bulldogs sitting pretty as the Blue Sox allow a 6 spot here in the bottom of the first. Curveball just misses up. The Blue Sox have now allowed 105 runs this year. 104 runs so far this year, which is the 3rd most they've allowed in a season the last 20 years, as that just misses outside. And keep in mind that there's still, 6 games left, including this. And there's also, it's also one of the shorter seasons in the ICL. In the time I've been with the Blue Sox, I've seen seasons of as long as 32 games and as short as 25, but 26 so far, still 6 games to go, including this one. A leadoff walk to Luis Atiles. Now, you're not going to erase a 5-run deficit with 1 swing of the bat, no matter who's on base. So just pass the baton right now, right? Jake McElroy, who initiated a key 9-3 double play to stem the bleeding a little bit. Bottom of the first, takes his first cut. Fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. The 6 runs that the Blue Sox allowed in the bottom of the first is the most they've allowed in the first inning this year. Pickoff attempt and back safely is Atiles. At least 1 out of 2 in stolen base attempts this year, and just picked up his second walk to pad his 407 on base percentage. McElroy waits on the breaking ball, hits it into center field, but that will be caught by Favazzo for out number 1. Craig Corliss will take his turn. Corliss playing his 10th game, slashing .353, .533, .500. Another check of Atiles. And he's back safely without a tag. 3 doubles and 4 ribbies for Corliss, and 8 walks to just 4 strikeouts. Into the right center field gap by Corliss, but that is going to be run down by Christian Roncall for out number 2. So it'll be up to Nick Anderson to try and keep the line moving. The lefty on lefty matchup here. For those playing the home game, by the way, Atiles was 6 out of 7 in steals last year, but obviously, maybe early, but you don't want to run yourself into outs trying to claw back from this deficit. Bouncing off of first as that runs inside for a ball to Anderson, 1-0. Anderson, 227, 357, 364, 5 doubles, 1 homer, 6 ribbies. I misread that, excuse me. 1 homer and 6 ribbies, 5 hits overall. Anderson is 5 for 22. 16 of his 17 outs have been by way of the K. Runs inside. 2-1. And the Blue Sox, when the Blue Sox players have been struggling at the plate, all you want to do is just put something in play. Make the opposing team earn it. Inside corner, strike 2. 2-2 now to Anderson. Oh, 3-1. Okay, my mistake. Well, a little bit of a reprieve there for Nick. Three and 2. I could hear Julian Alvarez not thrilled with that call from the dugout. Atiles will be off with the pitch. Blue Sox hoping to get something out of this leadoff walk. Payoff pitch. Here it is. Downstairs, and Anderson draws a 2-out walk. And that will keep the line moving for Brendan Doyle. As he sheds the knee pads. Shin guards, whatever. Doyle enters play 2 for 24 on the year. This is 11th game. Outside corner, strike 1. Doyle picked up his first hit since June 2nd in his last game against the Americans last Thursday. Grounds this one to short, fielded there, and the underhand to second for the force ends the inning. The Blue Sox turned away after the 2 walks. Still 6-1 Bulldogs after a buck and a half. Are you down with a sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash the subscribe button. Membership is also available for $5 a month. PayPal and Creator Spring. LSP 37. Try it with your friends. As we go to the bottom of the second, Jack Pasiak, who is such a stud with the bat this year for the Blue Sox, is now going to have to prove his worth on the bump. This team down 5. And he will face the top of the order in Roncall, Siegel, and Burnt. All 10 to the plate for the Bulldogs. In the bottom of the first, scoring 6 of them. Roncall got the party started with his second triple of the year. Came home to score after Siegel reached on an infield single, then got to second on an error. Roncall takes down and away for a ball. Melrose leading the Chiefs 2-0 after 2. Thank you, Jeff Berry. Pasiak misses up and away behind 2-0 to a very dangerous hitter. Chris Wannett ends up allowing 6 runs in 2/3 of an inning. 2-1 now to Roncall. Fly ball to right field, going back towards the line, getting twisted around, but making the catch is McElroy for out number 1. Leadoff man retired, always important, no matter the score. Especially against a fantastic hitter like Siegel, who comes to the plate 1 for 1 with a base hit, RBI, and a run scored. Pasiak pulled that one too far across, and it is 1-0. Six runs on 7 hits allowed as this is grounded to first. Swallowed up nicely, calling off Pasiak. Is Grundy for out number 2. Blue Sox did commit an error in that bottom of the first. Continuing this bugaboo. Defensive woes for the Blue Sox as of late. Field does look a lot better than it had recently, though. Something, Craftsman blaming tools. 0-1 to Emilio Burnt. Hit by a pitch. His first time up. First 2 retired here for Jack Pasiak. Only made 1 pitching appearance to this point this year. And that was a single inning. Lost to Melrose last Thursday. He's behind 3-1. Boy, could you imagine if this was a situation like Draper's complete game against the Chiefs, in which he had to go the distance? Fly ball into center. Anderson had to do a plie with the wind catching up to him a little bit there at the end. But the Bulldogs go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. Our next broadcast, Wednesday night, 7:55 air, 8 o'clock first pitch for the Blue Sox in the regular season finale against the Mad Dogs anyways. Now we have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Mad Dogs fighting for their playoff lives. You know where to find us. Blue Sox will send the top of the order to the plate here in the top of the third. Jimenez, Landero, and Grundy. Jimenez to lead things off, ground out to third to begin the ball game. Again, coming off a 3-for-4 yesterday against Stoneham. Yesterday, reached base all 4 times, going once on an error. Takes a strike, 0-1. And there are all sorts of numbers to talk about in terms of the Blue Sox struggles here in the second half of the season. Mention how they're already at the, as Jimenez strokes this one into left field, but that will hang up for out number 1, caught by Siegel. Here's Frank Landero. Singled, stole a couple bases, and scored. The only Blue Sox run so far back in the first. Mentioned the 104 runs the Blue Sox have allowed so far this year, with still 5+ games to go, the third most they've allowed a season since 2006. Inside for a ball, 1-0. They've allowed 7 runs in an inning twice in the last couple of weeks. Last time they allowed that many runs in a single inning, 7 that is, I'll go all the way back to July 2012 against the Watertown Reds. Hey, Joe Chiodo, how you doing? Hitter's count here for Frank. 3-0. And now a 6-run inning. The bottom of the first has the Bulldogs on top of the Blue Sox, 6-1. Second of 3 meetings between the two teams this year. Taken all the way for strike, 3-1. Oh. Wrap things up potentially with the head-to-head tiebreaker. Very important on the line a week from Wednesday. Landero grounds this one to left side, past the third baseman, and then the shortstop and into left field. And he is aboard for the second time today. 2 hits in 2 ABs for Landero, who has the only 2 hits for the Blue Sox in this game. They also do have 3 walks. So it's not like Bourne has been breezing through the first 2 innings. But in the end, the only stat that matters is the run column. Grundy fouls off the first one. We have an official broadcast, and it's 0-1. 2 stolen bases already in the game for Landero at first. Stole second, then stole third, then came home in the throw to third to try and get him win into left field. Pickoff attempt, and he is back safely. They had him leaning for a moment. Nice move by Bourne. But Landero still at first here. An 0-1 count to Grundy, who lined out to second his first time up. And that hits him. So for the second consecutive inning, the Blue Sox have 2 base runners. Let's see what they can do with it with Jules coming to the plate. Worked a walk his first time up. Keep the pressure on that first inning after Landero had come home during his plate appearance. Jules has 6 walks so far in the year to 3 strikeouts. That includes a walk back in the first. And a balk has been called. Do not do a balk, please. Can't just be up there doing a balk like that. Someone want to drop the balk copy pasta in the chat? 2 runners in scoring position for Jules. Takes on the outside corner. Strike 1. Jules is a guy who hates to lose. He is a guy who is a fierce competitor. He doesn't just play for the Blue Sox over the summers, also plays softball tournaments, travels a ways for them too. 0-1 to the veteran. Fouled off. Count will be 0-2. Crucial AB here for Bourne with 1 down and 2 runners in scoring position. Crucial to get the veteran Alvarez, the Blue Sox franchise leader in home runs since 2006. Jules is granted time. Landero at third. And Grundy at second after the balk by Bourne. Down and in. 1-2. First balk of the season committed by Bourne, third by the Bulldogs as a team. Alvarez drives this one into deep left center field, and it is gone! "20 career home runs with the Blue Sox now for Julian Alvarez." I mentioned earlier that Jules had a hit in all 9 games he had played to this point, and now he's got a 10-game hitting streak. Thank you, Bruce, the longest of Jules' career. And the Blue Sox back in it with 1 swing of the bat from their veteran leader. Here's Casserly. Takes a curveball on the outside corner for strike 1. Cass struck out looking to end the first, his first time up. And boy, did Jules ever know it off the bat. Cass hits this one the other way into shallow right. And it is caught, long run too, by the second baseman, Matt Favazzo. And there are 2 down. So Cass is 0 for 2, and that brings up Luis Atiles, who drew a walk his first time up. Now, if it's any consolation to Ian Bourne, the balk was not going to do anything about that ball going out to near straightaway center. Atiles waits on the curveball, hits it into right field, but it is a fly out to end the inning. The Blue Sox get right back in it with a 3-piece order by Julian Alvarez. And it is 6-4 Bulldogs after 2.5. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shield's, oh no, wrong one. Sorry, Greg, I promise. That wasn't intended. I'll get you back, Greg. Our next, no wait, I did do this one. I'm tired, boss. What?
That sprayed a lot of dirt at me.
LSP, okay, Greg Long, you can get me after this one. You nearly killed Mark. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 1% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever that was. I know we had the Shipping Shield ad up while I was doing that, but what I was talking about, there were a couple pitches to the backstop during Pasiak's warm-ups. One hit the backstop, kicked up some dirt into Katrina's shins. The other nearly got Mark Leary as he was walking by in front of us. I don't know what he was going to do, but y'all right there, Mark? 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the third. Here's Seamus Condon, base hit and RBI, and a run scored his first time up. Condon, Matt Favazzo, and Caleb Cormier. Pasiak with a full wind and the pitch. Curveball hits the outside corner, strike one. Pasiak got his only batter of the first on one pitch. Favazzo popping up, Nick Favazzo that was. And then went 1, 2, 3 in the second on only 10 pitches. Curveball in there, strike two. I have no idea if the light had the twilight had anything to do with it in the bottom of the first, but the Bulldogs saw Chris Wannett very well, and Seamus Condon saw that one very well, right into his shoulder blade for a leadoff base runner. Second hit batsman of the night by Blue Sox pitching as Condon is aboard. Here's Matt Favazzo, RBI double his last time up, and that nearly came and got him. It is 1-0. Fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. First base runner allowed by Pasiak is the 0-2 plunking of Condon. Fly ball into center field. Anderson going back and reaches up and makes the catch. One down. Another ball taking off maybe a bit on Anderson, but able to track that one down. One down for the catcher, Caleb Cormier. Caleb with a base hit. His first time up. and was doubled off. A 9-3 fly ball at the bat of Brett Stone. Fouls that one into the screen for strike one. Time granted is Brendan Doyle's going to have a word with Jack Pasiak as Mark Leary came out to see what to do about that last foul ball and says, all right, that goes to the BP bucket. 0-1 to Cormier. Down and in. 1-1. So 1 2/3 innings of the book so far for Pasiak. Well, already above his last outing, his first outing of the year on the mound. Well, force of the plate this year. In fact, that nearly came in and got him, and it is 2-1. Mentioned yesterday, Pasiak's hit against Melrose came while Pasiak was the pitcher for the Blue Sox, making the first hit by a Blue Sox pitcher since Ryan O'Rourke. Down in. 3-1. Brett Stone is due up next. Swung on, fouled off the other way and out of play for a full count. Doubling his pitch output here in the first three batters after the first four were retired on 11 pitches for Pasiak. Full count. See if Condon runs here. He does not, and it's fouled off. Infield back here, 3-2. Fly ball into right. Now coming back in is McElroy. Makes the catch, 2 down. Cormier's now 1 for 2, and it'll be up to Brett Stone to try and keep the line moving. Again, flew out in that 9-3 double play. And gave Chris Wan a bit of a reprieve in the first, but after the double by Lee and the single by Heisner, that was it for the Blue Sox starter. And another Blue Sox error. That pickoff attempt goes out of play, and that will put Condon in scoring position. Another error for the Blue Sox. And we'll see if this one comes back to bite him against Brett Stone. Phenomenal offensive talent. Former Blue Sox, in fact. Over 1,000 OPS last year for the Bulldogs. Swing and a miss. 1,275, in fact, last year with 6 doubles, 6 triples, 3 homers, and 22 ribbies. Fouled off, 1-2. 35 hits last year for Stone. Second in the ICL in batting average and hits behind Luke Amelia, the Mad Dogs, last year. Outside corner, strike 3 called. And Pasiak doesn't pay for the hit by pitch or the error. And we go to the 4th. Pasiak's first strikeout of the night. 6-4 still. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. As we go to the top of the fourth, Kyle Murray's complete game yesterday was a welcome sight for the Blue Sox pitching staff. Blue Sox have 4 complete games as a team this year, which is the most since they had 10 in 2014. Goes to show you how baseball moves with fewer complete games even at these levels. But before 2026, the Blue Sox had 12 complete games in the 10 seasons prior. Five of them in the last 5 years. It's one of the things that you could address as a pitching staff when you think about the struggles the Blue Sox have had, and maybe too much of a revolving door, need to get consistency, reps with the catchers. A certain level of redundancy is good. There's a fine line between pulling your guys with the whole batting average goes up every time through the order stuff, which as much truth as there can be to that. How do you, what's one of the things that the lack of consistency from the Blue Sox pitching staff in terms of sometimes performance and sometimes in terms of who's available has been an issue. But that doesn't dictate, that shouldn't lead to the errors that we've seen from the Blue Sox defense as of late. A lot of things going wrong at once. How do you right the ship with the postseason around the corner? 2-2. McElroy takes down and away for ball 3. It's a full count now to Mac, to be followed by Corliss and Anderson. McElroy flew out to center his first time up in the second. Pops this one up the chute in front of the mound and taking a knee to down the ball after the catch is Ian Bourne for out number 1. Jules' 3-piece order that made this a 2-run game gives him 131 RBI in a Blue Sox uniform, second on the team since 2006. Leadoff man retired. Here is Corliss. Down the pipe for a strike. Corliss flew out to right his first time up in the second. Blue Sox led 1-0 after the top of the first, but the Bulldogs ambushing Chris Wannett. Wannett only went 2/3 of an inning. He's Charged with 6 runs on 7 hits. 2-1 now to Corliss. It's been Jack Pasiak on the mound since. And he has allowed just 1 base runner, hit by pitch of Seamus Condon, leading off the bottom of the 3rd. Corliss fouls that one into the screen. The count will be 2-2. So Blue Sox shell-shocked after 1 inning, down 6-1, but after a quiet 2nd inning for both teams, Julian Alvarez to the rescue with a 3-run home run to almost straightaway center. Get the Blue Sox back in this one, 6-4, but still a ways to go here, well, in terms of the comeback efforts and the game. 2-2. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Second strikeout, both looking for Ian Bourne. 2 up, 2 down, and here is Nick Anderson. Drew a walk his first time up. Inside corner, strike 1. And the catcher setting up a bit outside. I don't know if he was expecting it to come back inside, but it worked out in the end for the Bulldogs to get ahead of Anderson 0-1. Lifts that one the other way, and that will be run down for a 1-2-3 inning for Ian Bourne and the Bulldogs. Halfway home, 6-4. The LSP store is open. Get yourself one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Scan the QR code now to buy. Bottom of the 4th. Jack Pasiak back out there to face the bottom 3 hitters in the order, Lee Heisner and Nick Favazzo. Lee with a double his first time up after Wannett had gotten a double play off the bat of Brett Stone, then he came around to score. Lefty against righty here, though. And Lee fouls that one off for strike 1. "6-4 is our score. All 6 runs for the Bulldogs coming in the bottom of the 1st against Chris Wannett. And it is the man currently on the mound, Jack Pasiak, since. This is his 3rd inning of work. And he gets a swing and a miss out in front, and it is 0-2. Blue Sox going 1-2-3 in the top half of this inning for the first time tonight. And time granted before the 0-2 is an important part here of the order for the Blue Sox. You wouldn't think too much of the bottom of a batting order, but it is another one of the things that has given the Blue Sox problems as of late, and really not just during this cold spell over the last couple of weeks. The last couple of years, in fact. The bottom of the order, the Blue Sox pitching staff, for whatever reason, has struggled to get quick, clean outs and innings against. 0-2 again to Lee. Down low. 1-2. With action behind Pasiak in the Blue Sox bullpen. Looks like Luke Marshall getting warm. Breaking ball, waited on, and just able to get a piece of it to stay alive is Lee. At the same time, though, this is not your typical bottom of the order. You see in the Bulldogs, you got Peyton Heisner, a big power hitter in the 9 slot out of this 10-man order. Swing and a miss. Big looping curveball swung over the top of that one. 1 down. Second strikeout in as many batters for Pasiak. Here's Heisner. RBI base hit. His first time up, which Chase wanted from this game. Bounces outside into the backstop for ball 1. And knowing how the Blue Sox pitching staff, one of the things that would help the most, you ask me, is more reps for everybody. That's fouled off, 2-1. You look at yesterday's game, and Kyle Murray had a couple one-inning outings and one outing of 3 innings before his complete game yesterday. At this point, as that swung on and missed with a fastball, 2-2. At this point, you ask your pitcher, are you good to go? And if he says yes, you leave him in. Foul tip. Into the mid for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks. 2 down. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Pasiak. Nick Favazzo try to keep the line moving, and he was able to hold up. Looks like for ball 1 on a pitch down and in. He popped up to third on the first pitch Pasiak threw tonight for the final out of the first. Fastball high, and it is 2-0 now to the number 10 hitter, Favazzo. Imperative to get him with top of the order, including Roncal, due up next. Popped up, left field, Jimenez looking for it, and he's got it for the out that retires the side. It has been an adventure in the outfield tonight for the Blue Sox defense. But look at Jack Pasiak. He has faced 11 batters so far and retired 10 of them. As we go to the 5th, still 6-4 Bulldogs. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Find your subscribe button. Membership's also available for $5 a month. PayPal and Creator Spring, LSP 37. All the cool kids are doing it. Top of the fifth. Ian Bourne now on 67 pitches as there is action behind him in the Bulldogs bullpen. Brendan Doyle leading things off 10-1-2 in the Blue Sox order. Doyle watches strike one get in there. He flew out to center his first time up to end the second. Lines this one up the middle and through for a base hit. Brendan Doyle, with just his third hit of the year, gets on to begin the inning. An important one here in the top of the fifth. The Bulldogs 9 defensive outs away from a win that seemed a little more certain about an hour ago. The Blue Sox clawing back within two thanks to the 3-run home run by Julian Alvarez. Jimenez grounds that one to second. Throw on to first. Not in time. Doyle is forced out 4-6. Saw the hop it took towards Matt Favazzo. And that is a hop that has eaten up the Blue Sox a lot lately. But Favazzo handles it. Forces out Doyle at second. Jimenez reaches on the fielder's choice. He's now 0 for 3. And here is Landero, who has 2 of the 4 hits tonight for the Blue Sox. Has scored 2 of their 4 runs. Ball gets away. And a wild pitch negates the possible inning-ending ground ball double play. Jimenez up to second, and now a 1-0 count. Landero takes outside 2-0. Landero's in the cleanup spot yesterday. He's in the second slot today, but plays well no matter where you put him in the order. 2-0. Hits this one the other way to right, and that will not be caught! Jimenez on his horse, being waved around third. Here comes the relay. He's safe! 1-run game! RBI double for Landero. He's 3 for 3. Ryan Grundy in a spot here where it's lefty on lefty. That's any consolation at all to the Bulldogs. Unless you get a line-out double play here. You got Julian Alvarez waiting in the on-deck circle. Wonder if this could be his last batter. Grundy takes a strike, 0-1. Landero picks up the double. He's 3 for 3 tonight after going 2 for 3 yesterday. Down low. 1-1. Wonder how large Matt Favazzo's handle of that bounce at second base to at least get the force of Doyle will lose. Because this could be a tie game if that got in to right field off the bat of Jimenez. Now it's a 2-1 count to Grundy. Alvarez in the on-deck circle. Grundy takes low, 3-1. There's a righty warming in the Bulldogs bullpen, and I have to imagine, and this could be Bourne's last batter regardless. Down and in, ball 4. Landero gives the ball a read as it trickles away, but no advance, and now it's first and second for Jules. As Grundy reaches for the second consecutive plate appearance, hit by a pitch last time. And we are going to have, it seems, a pitching change coming to you from LHS. Are we? Let's see. No, we're not. Well, double play is in order again, at the very least, with the walk to Grundy. And here is Jules. We know what he did last time. His 20th Blue Sox home run, extending his franchise lead since 2006. 3 RBIs to get him to 131, second in franchise history, and giving him a hit in all 10 games he's played, which is a career high with the Blue Sox. Oh, you know he wanted to go ranch onto that one, and he fouls it off for strike 1. Bourne staying in there to try and get the power-hitting right-hander, Julian Alvarez. Jules all right. Get that foul ball get a piece of him. Alvarez settles in. 0-1 pitch. Little dribbler foul. 0-2, and he can't. As good as Alvarez is, even he can't get too big for the moment. Let the moment get too big for him. Those were 2 big swings and only resulted in dribbler's foul. One pull side and one the other way, and now he's behind 0-2. The tying run in scoring position. Landero back safely after the pickoff attempt. Landero takes off, grounder into left field, base hit! This game is tied! Jules is now 2 for 2, reach base all 3 times. He's got 4 ribbies on the night. And we are back to where we started. Here's Casserly. Oh, looked like one on a platter there. That was a hanger. Wonder if he was taking all the way there. Might have been a little too high or away for his liking, though. 0-1. Down low, 1-1. The worst thing you can do after a shell shock of an inning, like the bottom of the first of the Bulldogs had, was be too aggressive. Even though the Blue Sox didn't score in the top of the second, they made Bourne work. With ABs like these, they drew a couple of walks. And again, even though they didn't score with 2 fly balls in the inning, they still made him throw 17 pitches. He was up to 38 through 2. Now he's at 84. Swing and a miss. 2-2. You saw that approach pay off in the third. Jules' 3-run bomb. Blue Sox went 1-2-3 last inning, but now they have tied the game here in the fifth. Casserly takes inside. No way Grundy and Alvarez are running here. Atiles due up next. 3-2. Down and in. The bases are loaded. Well, now that is going to spell the end for Ian Bourne. He goes 4 1/3 and is responsible for all 3 runners on base. Pitching change, this time for reals, coming to you from LHS. Our next broadcast, Wednesday night, 7:55, air, 8 o'clock first pitch as the Blue Sox host the Malden Mad Dogs. Blue Sox hoping to strengthen their playoff seeding. The Mad Dogs fighting for their playoff lives. You know what time it is. Jeff Berry with another update for us as the Americans lead the Chiefs 4-1 after 5. And the new whip for the Lexington Bulldogs is the right-hander Matt Mariani. He's making his 6th appearance of the year. He is 1-1 with a 3 ERA. In 7 innings, he has allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which are earned, walked 6, struck out 9, and committed 1 balk. Has not faced the Blue Sox this season. And what a batter to face for your first time against the Blue Sox. Luis Atiles, a guy who, since his arrival last year, always seems to find moments like this. He's 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Hits this one into right field, going back to the wall, over the right fielder's head. The Blue Sox are going to take the lead. The throw comes back into the infield quickly. Alvarez scores! Seven unanswered by the Blue Sox, and they are back in front. The power of the OWH. McElroy takes a strike. Luis Atiles. The wind was blowing out that time. Not all the way out, but out enough to give the Blue Sox the lead. It ends up being a single and a check swing foul ball for strike 2 to Jake McElroy, who is 0 for 2, fly out to center, and a pop up to the pitcher. That's the fastest I've seen Jules run in a long time. Still faster than I could, though. McElroy into right, 1 step in, 2 steps back, and then coming back in is the right fielder Ron Call for out number 2. McElroy is now 0 for 3, and here is Craig Corliss. Corliss 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a strikeout looking, both against the starter Ian Bourne. 2 runs that scored on Atiles' single are his responsibility. He's still responsible for Casserly on second. Blue Sox with 4 runs in this inning to reclaim the lead. 1-1, Corliss not thrilled. The first 7 batters of this inning all reached base. Doyle was forced out on a ground ball off the bat of Jimenez. On a hop that nearly got through. Think about how this inning could look if that did. The Blue Sox, as of late, feels like a hop like that would always go against them. It did, kind of that way. Flare into right center field, and that is going to get down for a base hit! 9-6! Casserly scores, RBI single for Corliss. Now 8 unanswered by the Blue Sox. Atiles is at third. Here's Nick Anderson. Woo! Came across a bit too much there. Nearly got him, and it is 1-0. That also nearly came in and got him. 2-0 as Dylan Walsh has a bat in the on-deck circle. Corliss is the extra hitter. That might be the play if he gets the turn here. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Put Walsh in the extra hitter slot and flex Corliss behind the plate. But will that be the case if Walsh doesn't get a turn at bat here? It's 3-1 to Anderson with Atiles at third, Corliss at first, and 5 runs home in the inning for the Blue Sox to reclaim the lead at 9-6. Anderson takes strike 2. To me, looked a little bit too far up and in, but that's why I'm back here. Anderson 0 for 1 with a walk, as Corliss will be off with this payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. The side is retired, but not before the Blue Sox put up 5 in the top of the 5th to flip things around and lead 9-6. LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. New whip for the Blue Sox. Now leading 9-6. Luke Marshall, making his 5th appearance of the year, 0-2 with a 6.22 ERA. In 9 innings, he's allowed 10 hits, 10 runs, 8 of which are earned, walked 9, struck out 9, thrown 4 wild pitches, and committed 1 balk. Last pitched Thursday night against the Americans, went 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks. Took the L against the Sabres 2 Fridays ago. 3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, 4 of which are earned, walked 3, and struck out 3. Hoping for an inning along the lines of what he did against the Boston Blue Jays back on June 16th, in which he went 2 innings, did not allow a hit, run, or walk, and struck out 3. But this is a tough part of the order to do that against, or anything close to that. As the Bulldogs send the top 3 to the order, find themselves suddenly down 3 in Roncall, Siegel, and Burnt. But of course, Bulldogs got off to a blazing start with Roncall leading things off in the first, that 6th spot. That chased Chris Wannett after just 2/3 of an inning. Roncall tripled to begin the Bulldogs' offensive night, then came around to score. He flew out to right his last time. That was against Jack Pasiak, who ends up going 3 1/3 innings, not allowing a walk, a hit, or a run. Only base runner he allowed was hitting Seamus Condon with a pitch to lead off the 3rd. But right now, Marshall is behind Roncall 3-1 to begin the 5th. A 5-pitch walk to begin the outing for Luke Marshall. Ruben Siegel, 1 for 2 with a run scored. On the outside corner, strike 1. For those playing the home game, Roncall 8 out of 8 in stolen base attempts this year. In there for a strike. Luke Marshall isn't the only change for the Blue Sox. Craig Corliss is behind the plate now after we saw Dylan Walsh in the on-deck circle last inning. Swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Ruben Siegel, 1 down. Here's Emilio Burnt. Hit by a pitch and scored in the first. Flied out to center. In the second. And grounds this one foul. 0-1. I'll get a confirmation on whether Walsh is, in fact, in the extra hitter slot. I don't think I see him out there in the field. Or he got moved somewhere, someone else got moved to the extra hitter slot. Curveball in there, strike 2. 0-2. There's action behind Marshall in the Blue Sox bullpen. Action in the Bulldogs bullpen as well. Down and away, good smother by Craig. Keeps Roncall at first. And a 1-2 count. Checks, he went around. Back-to-back Ks. Two down for Condon. RBI single, run scored in the first. hit by a pitch in the third is the only base runner allowed by Pasiak. High for a ball. In the top of the sixth, the Blue Sox will have the 10 slot, which was Doyle, Jimenez, and Landero. Runner goes, swung on, fouled out of play the other way. 1-1 is the count. Marshall comes set. Outside, 2-1. Jack Pasiak, so valuable as a batter all year, and now putting in a massive pitching performance when the Blue Sox desperately needed it. Oh, that ran inside, and it is 3-1. Corliss did have to reach across to get it, but I thought it nipped the inside corner. Alas, it is now 3-1 to Condon. Outside, ball four, second 5-pitch walk of the inning allowed by Marshall, and that brings the tying run to the plate in the person of Matt Favazzo. And here comes Sammy Steed to talk about how to attack the Bulldogs second baseman, who is 1 for 2 with a double, RBI, a couple of them in fact. Run scored in a fly out to center his last time up. This is his third different pitcher he's facing. After getting the double off of one, then flying out off of Jack Pasiak. Favazzo, a 400 hitter in 7 games entering play. Since 2022, he has a 921 career OPS, career high 1016 last year. Grounds this one to short. Jimenez shovels to second for the force. That retires the side. Finally, a ground ball handled cleanly for the Blue Sox. Buy that infield dirt a steak dinner, why don't you? Hey, Ross Curley, how you doing? 9-6 after 5. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot. Whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach, yeah. Gotcha. Email yours truly for all the deets. New whip for the Bulldogs is a brand new addition to the roster, the left-hander Dmitry Skouridis. Skouridis, as you may see in the score bug on the bottom right of your screen. Skirides, Brandeis product. Left-hander. And the first pitch to Dylan Walsh is in there for a strike, 0-1. So the prophecy comes true. Dylan Walsh now in the extra hitter here, extra hitter slot, and Corliss now behind the plate. And Skirides misses outside, 1-1. Walsh playing in his 11th game. He's ahead 2-1. Slashing .419, 500, 516, 3 doubles, 6 ribbies. Walsh flares this one into right field, and that'll get down for a base hit. Brendan Doyle going 1 for 2 on the night. Now Walsh leads off from the 10 slot with a base hit, and the lineup turns over for AJ. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored his last time, 0 for 3. And that misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Went 3 for 4 yesterday, reached all 4 times, scored a couple of runs. Walsh is 1 for 2 in stolen base attempts for those playing the home game this year. Down and in, hitters count here for Andy. You know, thinking about the hop that Favazzo handled at second base to get the force of Doyle off the bat of Jimenez. That's hit cleanly. That's 2 out bases. If the bounce is clean, it's 2 outs, bases empty, and that top of the 5th, the 6th time the Blue Sox have scored 5 runs in an inning this year. That's on the outside corner, 3-1. Almost certainly does not happen. Instead, it becomes 1 out, 1 on. Jimenez gets into scoring position on the wild pitch. Landero doubles him home. The Blue Sox are off to the races from there, with 8 consecutive runs scored since the Bulldogs' 6-run bottom of the 1st. And now a walk by Jimenez makes it 1st and 2nd. Nobody out for so far one of the stars of the show. Certainly not the only one. Frank Landero. 3 for 3, 3 runs, 2 steals, a double. Broken bat grounder up the middle, 6-4-3. Crucial double play there to make it 2 out with a runner at third. Landero retired for the first time tonight. It's now Walsh at third, and lefty on lefty with Ryan Grundy coming to the plate. Skirides, it's a broken bat, 6-4-3 double play on 1 pitch to Landero. Now the Blue Sox have to try and cash in with 2 outs and a runner at third. Grundy doesn't have a hit yet in this game as he takes a strike, 0-1. He has been hit by a pitch, walked, and scored 2 runs. He's behind 0-1 here. In the bottom of the 6th, the Bulldogs have Cormier, Stone, and Lee due up. Fouled off to the backstop, and it is 0-2. Bourne, Mariani, and Skirides. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Grundy not happy with the call, but side retired. Important clean inning there for the Bulldogs to get. And we go to the bottom of the sixth. Still 9-6, Blue Sox. The LSP store is open. Get yourself one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. Scan the QR code now to buy. Luke Marshall back out there for the bottom of the sixth to face 6, 7, and 8 in the Bulldogs order. Cormier, RBI single and a fly out to right on his line today. Outside corner, strike one. A win tonight by the Blue Sox would clinch the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bulldogs. That misses low, ball one. A win by the Bulldogs would leave the head-to-head tiebreaker in the hands of the game a week from Wednesday. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Jeff Barry letting us know in the chat that the Americans have beaten the Chiefs 5-4. Strike three swinging, Cormier down. Leadoff man retired. Here's Stoney, 0 for 2 with the line out 9-3 double play in the first, then struck out looking in the third. Swings and misses, tied up, 0-1. Misses outside, 1-1. 8 unanswered runs by the Blue Sox. They scored 1 in the top half. Curveball gets in there, strike 2. And then the Bulldogs, with a 6 spot in the bottom of the first, chased 1 after 2/3 of an inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. Complete the play at first at the very least. So that is now 4 strikeouts for Marshall. And here is Lee to try and keep the line moving. Lee with a double and a run scored. That run was the thing that Chase wanted. Now he's back in the first. He struck out swinging against Pasiak in the fourth. And Jack Pasiak, the phenomenal talent that he's been with the bat this year, turning in maybe the most important performance of the year for the Blue Sox pitching staff in relief. Still not over, though. Still chance for something to happen, like that 2-out single by Lee. He's now 2 for 3. Now we'll bring up power hitting Peyton Heisner. His RBI single was the thing. The run scored Lee. Last batter that won it faced. Pasiak 3 1/3 innings, not allowing a single hit, run, or walk 3 strikeouts, only base running allowed was plunking Condon. And that one gets in there for strike 1. In the top of the 7th, the Blue Sox will have 4, 5, and 6 due up. Alvarez, Casserly, and Atiles. Swing and a miss over the top of that one, 0-2. Got him! 5 strikeouts in 2 innings for Luke Marshall. Side retired. We go to the 7th. Blue Sox up 9-6. Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash subscribe button. Membership's also available for $5 a month. PayPal and Creator Spring, LSP 37. Tastes great on a cracker. As we go to the top of the 7th, there is a new whip on the mound for the Lexington Bulldogs. And I'll pull that up in just a moment. And hi, we're back. It is Liam Childs, the right-hander, the 4th wing of the night for the Bulldogs. He's making his 5th appearance of the year. He is 0-1 with a 7.74 ERA. In 6 1/3 innings, he has allowed 8 hits, 7 earned runs, walked 4, struck out 15, and hit 1 batter. He hasn't pitched since June 16th against Triple D's TJOs, in which he went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and struck out 2. All 7 runs he's allowed this season, came in his 1 decision, a loss to the Brighton Braves on June 9th. Went 3 1/3 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 walks, and struck out 7. Julian Alvarez, who is 2 for 2 with a walk, a 3-run homer, a RBI single, and the hustliest run you've ever seen, steps to the plate and is ahead 1-0. His home run was his 20th career jack with the Blue Sox. He's now up to 132 RBIs with the team. His 3-run bomb in the 3rd got the Blue Sox within 2. His RBI single tied the game at 6. Down and away. 2-1. Wind's blown out. Oh, did that get him? Nope, just too far inside. It'll be 3-1. Alvarez, Casserly, and Atiles due up here in the top of the 7th for the Blue Sox. And Childs isn't the only change for the Bulldogs, as Alvarez comes up empty there. Alvarez took some aggressive swings the first 2 pitches of his last AB and just dribbled them both foul, but great comeback from that to drive home the tying run. The other changes as Alvarez draws his second walk of the night. Perfect night getting on base tonight for Alvarez. Leadoff walk, and that brings up Casserly. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Alvarez, and that would be, Cam Kelly. So Cam Kelly, pinch running for Jules at first after Jules goes 2 for 2 with 2 walks. Oliver Hankey is now in the game for the Bulldogs in left field, and Siegel has moved over from left field to center. Down and away for a ball. It is 1-0 to Cass, who is 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the first, popped up to second in the third, and walked and scored in the fifth. Strike one, 1-1. Kelly at first, for those playing the home game, has not attempted a stolen base this year. Two and one. Check swing. Down and away, and it is a full 3-1, rather. So, with the Americans' win over the Chiefs, this is where the ICL standings stand. As a swing and a miss, a pitch down and away. Strike two on Casserly. This is what we're looking at. You have every team now in the ICL with at least 7 losses. The Americans 1 win behind the Chiefs in the standings, as that's down low, and that'll be a walk to Casserly. The Blue Sox, if this score holds, will join the Americans and Chiefs in the 13-win department. And they will still be a game better than the Americans in the loss column. But remember, the Americans own the head-to-head tiebreaker against the Blue Sox. First and second to begin the inning, and Atiles. Look, you're up 3. You've already seen the Bulldogs put together a 6 spot in this game. Can't have hero swings. You can't be too aggressive. It's behind that one. It's 0-2 all of a sudden. Atiles 1 for 2 with a walk, a fly out to right, and a 2-run single. That gave the Blue Sox the lead 8-6 at the time. Fouls that one off. Wind blowing out just as he took that cut. That Americans-Chiefs game is the only other game on the ICL slate tonight. One and two. No advance by the runners. So again, that's where we stand right now. The Chiefs at 29 points. The Americans at 27, which is difference of just 1 win. Blue Sox, if this score holds, tie the Americans at 27 points, be a game better in the loss column. Bulldogs will fall just 1 game over 500. 2-2. Full count again. The Blue Sox have drawn 8 walks so far. Oh, Atiles cannot believe it. Thought that was too far inside, but he is rung up for out number 1. That was my fault. Even saying that. Wasn't trying to speak a walk into existence, but Blue Sox do have a couple of games this year in which they've drawn 10 walks. Unsurprisingly, those were wins. McElroy looking to get on base for the first time tonight, takes down and away 1-0. First 2 reaching via the base on balls in this inning for the Blue Sox, but Childs potentially 1 ground ball away from getting out of this. Outside corner, 1-1. We are past the 2-hour mark in this ball game. First pitch was 7:36. It is now 9:44. Bounces in the dirt. Nice pick by Cormier. Had a couple nice blocks in this inning, keeping the runners at first and second. Two and one here for Mac. 3-1. 3-ball count to every batter this inning so far for Childs. He's at 22 pitches. Swing and a miss. Full count. Corliss due up next. Down away, and it gets to the backstop. It's not going to matter. Not going to chance coming home is Kelly. So the bases are loaded. So McElroy reaches for the first time. And Rick DeAngelis coming down for the third base coach's box to talk to Corliss, who is 1 for 3. RBI single his last time up, which brought home the most recent run in this game. The last run of that 5-run top of the 5th by the Blue Sox. That gave them this 9-6 lead they still hold now. Kelly at third, Casserly at second, McElroy at first, all by way of the walk, although Kelly pinch ran for Alvarez after he drew his. And that is down and away for ball 1. This isn't exactly a Statue of Liberty play situation. You know that Childs can get a strike when he needs to. Just wait for your pitch. Like, right? Not saying that was Corliss's pitch, but what I'm saying is that's the reason you can't put up the take sign too much. 1-1. Corliss, granted time. Bases loaded. 1 down here in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Is he behind that one? Breaking ball. 3 walks in the inning of the bases loaded, but a 1-2 count now to Corliss. Foul tip into the mitt. Strike 3, out number 2. Second strikeout for Childs. And now it'll be up to Nick Anderson. Walked his first time up, flew out to left in the 4th, struck out swinging to end the 5th. Comes across to the inside corner for strike 1. In the bottom of the 7th, the Bulldogs will have Hankey, Roncall, and Siegel due up. Down and away. 30 pitches now in the inning for Childs. Walk to Alvarez. Kelly pinch runs for him. Walk to Casserly. Atiles rung up. McElroy walks. Corliss strikes out swinging. Anderson now behind 1-2. Downstairs. Third one that Cormier is able to keep close this inning. Outside, way up and away. Gentlemen, start your engines. Kelly will be off of the pitch from third. Casserly from second. McElroy from first. And the 3-2 pitch. Here it is. In there for strike 3 called, and the side is retired. 3 walks in the inning, 3 strikeouts in the inning. No runs, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. Closing time for the Blue Sox, up 9-6. Our next broadcast, Wednesday night, 7:55 air, 8 o'clock first pitch on this here YouTube channel as the Blue Sox host the Malden Mad Dogs. The Mad Dogs fighting for their playoff lives, and the Blue Sox in the thick of it in this race for first place in the Intercity League. You know what time it is. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Luke Marshall is back out there. He's got 10, 1, and 2 to deal with in Hankey, Roncal, and Siegel. And Hankey, who came in defensively in the 6th inning, is going to bat for the first time. And Marshall misses for ball 1. Hankey is playing in his 9th game of the year. He is 3 for 9 with 3 runs scored. Pops up that one, foul and behind us for strike 1. What a turn of events in this game. The Blue Sox scored 1 in the top of the 1st. Bulldogs exploded for 6 in the bottom half, chasing Chris Wannett after 2/3 of an inning. As the curveball hits the outside corner for strike 2, Jack Pasiak, who was off to one of the best offensive starts in Blue Sox history this year, comes into pitch and settles things down big time. That's high with a fastball for ball 2. He ends up facing 11 batters and retires 10 of them. 3 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no runs, hits, or walks, and 1 hit batsman. Curveball swung on and missed. Strike 3, out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. And Luke Marshall, now through 2 1/3 innings, 7 outs, has 6 strikeouts. The lineup turns over for Roncal, who takes a strike, 0-1. Tripled and scored in the 1st, flew out to right in the 2nd, walked in the 5th. He was the first batter Marshall faced. And now Marshall is ahead of him 0-2. The Blue Sox clawing back into it on a 3-run homer by Alvarez to make it 6-4 in the third. And with 2 strikes, Marshall plunks Roncall. Get out of jail free card there for the Bulldogs offense. And Roncall at first, reaching base for the 3rd time tonight. That brings up Ruben Siegel. Singleton scored in the first, grounded out to first in the second, struck out swinging in the 5th. Blue Sox have scored 8 unanswered runs, with those 3 on Alvarez's home run in the 3rd, and then in the 5th, a 5 spot to take the 9-6 lead that you see in the bottom right corner of your screen right now. Marshall is now at 40 pitches. Read the top line. 1-1. It's been Bourne, Mariani, Scarides, and Childs on the bump for the Bulldogs. Wannett, Pasiak, and Marshall for the Blue Sox. At the knees, strike 2. There is action behind Marshall if things get too dicey. Luke Deschanel has been warming on and off over the last couple of innings. 1-2. Fouled off. Jack Pasiak would be in a line for the win if this score holds. And if Marshall is able to shut the door here, it would be the 3rd 3-inning save of the year for the Blue Sox. Driven into center field, and Anderson's got it, 2 down. Bulldogs down to their final out, as Siegel is now 1 for 4. Here's Emilio Burnt. Hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first, flew out to center in the second, struck out swinging in the 5th. I don't know, if Roncall wants to run, do you just let him here if you're the Blue Sox? 2 outs, get your ender, right? Now the easier said than done, probably. This Bulldogs lineup, but Burnt is now down to his and the Bulldogs' final strike. Got him! Ball game over. The biggest win, biggest comeback of the year for the Blue Sox. 8 unanswered. They clinch the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Bulldogs with this 9-3 victory. Luke Marshall gets 7 outs by way of the K for a 3-inning save, the 3rd 3-inning save of the year for the Blue Sox. But this one didn't need a big lead in the final 3 innings. It couldn't have had a big lead in the final 3 innings to get this one. Jack Pasiak, again, an offensive standout all year, turns in the most important pitching performance of the year for the Blue Sox for his first dub. Ian Bourne takes the L. Julian Alvarez reaches base all 4 times, 2 walks, the 3-run homer, the game-tying RBI single, and then a run scored. Frank Landero goes 3 for 4 with 3 runs, a double, and 2 steals. Pat Casserly picks up a couple of walks and a run scored. Jack Pasiak, 3 1/3 with just 1 base runner allowed, a hit by pitch for the dub. Luke Marshall with the save. 3 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, a hit batsman, no runs, and 7 strikeouts. The biggest win of the year for the Blue Sox, and I don't know how many of us expected Jack Pasiak to turn in the pitching performance of the year for the Sox, considering how good he was offensively. But boy, what a sight it is to know, what a good feeling it is to know that Pasiak can do that when you absolutely need him. And now, with the results tonight in the ICL final, here are the current ICL standings. The Blue Sox with 2 games in hand on the Chiefs, even in the win column. The Americans also even in points with the Blue Sox, but the Blue Sox a game better in the loss column. But remember, the Americans hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Blue Sox. The Sabres at 11-9-1. The Bulldogs fall to 11-10. And if it were to come into play, the Blue Sox own the head-to-head over the Bulldogs. Mad Dogs, their playoff hopes are still alive. With this Bulldogs win, they would be just about done if the Bulldogs loss. If the Bulldogs won, they would be just about done, but I haven't checked the tiebreakers on that, but that's not the point. The point is the Blue Sox, with their biggest win and biggest comeback of the year, to get to 13-7-1. So, with that said, this has been a presentation of LSP, something for everyone since 2011. Copyright 2026, unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast without the express written permission of LSP or the Blue Sox is strictly prohibited. A reminder that if you'd like to support future LSP content, you can do so by buying shipping shields using the link and codes on the screen or in the description. Buy some of this, sponsor future content for as little as $25 a spot. Now you can buy some of this fabulous merchandise from the LSP Spring Store. And of course, if you are down with a sound called LSP, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP 37, all the cool kids are doing it. And all the cool kids are going to be here Wednesday night, 7:55 air, 8 p.m. first pitch for the Blue Sox. Hoping to keep this train rolling against the Malden Mad Dogs, hoping to keep their playoff hopes alive. Once again, the final score from center field at Lexington High School in Lexington, Mass. is Lexington Blue Sox 9 and the Lexington Bulldogs 6. For all my very rowdy friends here at LHS, my name is Sam Feely, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in. Fresh for 2026. Suckers. Love you, Katrina. Party hard, Caitlin. Miss you, Tina.